Well, g'day everybody. Today we're having a squiz at Great Houses of Caldera, or Calderia, however you want to pronounce it. I got that wrong. It's developed by Resistance Games and published by Fire Squid. It's got it was released on the 30th of August and already has very positive reviews. It's a feudal grand strategy game focusing on family dynamics and stories, so it's quite intense. And you've got to use your family strengths to compete against rivals and to rise in the ranks of Calderia. Produce, trade, scheme, bribe, and battle to build our legacy of power. Thank you to the devs for giving me a key so that I can bring this game to you. This is a long haul. It feels like a long haul game to me. If you've played some of those other grand strategy games and stuff, then it's you would be very, very familiar with them. So it's something that you'd need to sit down and play. So and sort of really sink yourself into. Calderia was once known as a paradise. However, the rulers of old grew hungry for power and knowledge, and devastation followed. The exact reasons for the downfall are long forgotten, and for centuries Calderia was taboo and never to be visited again. When the new emperor learned of the land, he disregarded the warnings of his council and granted a mandate for any noble house to claim parts of the land in his name. He appointed a viceroy to rule Calderia on his behalf. However, just 2 generations after the recolonization, bickering has arisen, as it always does. Rumors are spreading that the viceroy himself has succumbed to the same old megalomania that afflicted the rulers of old. So what we need to do is our house embarked on the journey back as well. We are called the House D'Amato. The House Vegemito. Yep, sounds good. Now what we need to do is we need to select what our house is going to represent. And you can see down here that there's peacemakers, idealists, warriors, isolationists, schemers, and scholars. Now, each provides you with different buffs, obviously. So, for example, our start tradition, if we were scholars, our upgrades are 25% cheaper, which helps us expand faster and focus less on resource production. Our first spy in each fiefdom gives a +1 intrigue level if we're schemers. Your safety level is higher. This means you can spend less workers' time to keep safety up if we're isolationists. Warriors, so all family members in military conflict have +10 attack skill and 20 more health. So it depends on how you're going to actually approach the game, whether you're going to be diplomatic, whether you're going to be aggressive as to what you do take. Idealists, our workers gain extra happiness from wages, and it helps us gain population growth easier. So we get different levels of wages there, give us different levels of happiness. And peacemakers. So we require less population growth to gain a new worker, and this helps our fiefdom to grow faster. I would normally move towards more of a military kind of a thing, but I think I'm either going to go isolationist with a higher safety level, or peacemakers, and I think I'm going to try peacemakers in this. So it was our parents that led our expedition to recolonize Calderia. Decades later, their time was up, but they left behind a prosperous fiefdom, large family, and the beginning of a legacy. It came time to choose who among their children. I'm sorry, I'm really tired for some reason. This illness is still causing a lot of fatigue. Would become the new head of the family, so we need to select our head of the family. Now we can re-roll these, and each of them have traits. Egoist, reckless, forgiving. So lenient ability in social conflict, which gives us +1 diplomacy. Egoist gives us -2 diplomacy and economy. So she's not really that good, is she? Gives us +1 military and intrigue there. -3 intrigue. Diplomacy, economy, +3 military. Well, we're not really going in that way. An idiot. Games of absurd claim ability in military conflicts. Gives us -2 on everything. Poised. Diplomacy +1 and intrigue +1. But then we're losing diplomacy in here as well. So let's re-roll. Let's re-roll and see what we get. Fickle. +1 in military. Attractive +2 in diplomacy. So that's probably really handy. +1 in intrigue and +1 in economy. I think I like that. I think I'm going to go these guys, and I think we're going to select Anna as our ruler. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Let's do it. Now we can sit here and we can change our icon and decide what we want to be. There's obviously going to be no jars of Vegemite in here, unfortunately. But there is a whole pile of stuff that we can do. We want to be prosperous, so let's and peaceful, so let's go with the tree. Background wise, we can do that. We can change our main colors and stuff. We'll probably change our main color to a green, perhaps. And our secondary color can go to black, and I think our main color will go white. Sounds good to me. Let's continue. Okay, house origins. When our house embarked on the journey of Calderia, we were among the first to arrive near the Emperor's land to the east. Early to arrive, landed in the south, home of the mathematicians. Arrived later than many and settled in the mountains to the north. Arrived when most of the land was inhabited and thus settled a bit further away in the west. So each of these give us different, so we've got crops and population if we're close, grapes and livestock there, materials and metal ore here, and horses and gold. I think we might go mountain range. Okay, cool. So now we need to choose a starting location for the unclaimed land. Let's have a look. This gives us -20 on crops, +20 on gold, +15 on material, -20 on livestock, +40. Up in the top corner there gives us -10 on crops, +30 on materials. That's looking a little bit better. Here we get +20 gold, -20 horses, +30 materials, 8 workers. Let's call it Macius. Okay, we're going there. Would you like to have a tutorial? We may as well go through the tutorial. Again, I have played it. The members of our house can be found there. The fiefdom is our home. We are vassals of House Floral. We pay taxes to them. Several bonuses as vassals. There's 4 duchies in Calderia. Duchies are indicated by the different background colours on fiefdom banners. Dukes may have several counts as their vassals. Let's see. This is the capital of Calderia. Viceroy lives here. Our fiefdom shortcut is there to return home. Clicking on the fiefdom opens our actions, and we can click on the view button to go in there. The population's shown here. So we've got 8 of 10 at the moment. First number is your current population, second's your max. When the green bar fills to the top, we actually increase our population. Sounds good. We have farmers and population. I'm pretty sure I know how to do this. Your population amount translates to workers. It's wise to make sure you have enough crops to feed your people. Now we do get minus 10% on crops, I think. That's okay. So we can click on here, and we can make sure that we still have two people. Each worker assigned to a profession increases productivity. So you've got to really balance your productivity and stuff. Total production per day is shown here. So we do minus 4.2 crops per day, which is going to be pretty hard to work with in the beginning. So we can probably sort that out. What's required to produce the resources, as well as where the resources are currently consumed. Okay, so consumption, production, trade, taxes, wages. All right, and drag and drop workers from other professions to farmers. Yep, no worries. So what we could do, mason-wise, let's drag somebody else up there, and hopefully that will increase our production of food, but we'll check that in a minute. These panels show what's required to produce the resources, as well as where the resources currently consumed. So feed workers and wages. Cool, continue. So we need to go, so that's a vineyard, so we'll throw that up there, and we need to get that into a positive. So we're in a positive now. Workers' happiness. Your population grows according to the happiness of your workers. That makes sense. You may assign your family members to oversee professions. Yep, okay. So what we need to do is, it obviously wants us to drag her in there, okay? Which basically gives us, it'll give us increased happiness and stuff. We'll go through that soon. Those are measured by the diplomacy and military skills. So production and happiness are the most important factors. So military and happiness. So she's got 9 and she's got 10 in happiness. Cool. Your surplus or deficit per day is indicated by the small numbers. Yep. Indicates there's a problem with production, which we know that there is. So that's good. Click the back button or right mouse button to return to the map when you're ready. So what we can do now basically is with our masons, our miners and stuff like that. So we've got up the top here. We've got our production at the moment. Our materials are being produced quite well. Our metal ores plus 0.1. Our tax and our gold coming in is 1.4. And our steel is plus 1, which is actually really, really good. Livestock, no, and grapes, no. But what we're going to do is with the miners, I think we're going to go into here. You can order your workers to work harder. Yep, no worries. So we'll have them working normally at the moment. What we want to probably do is bring in somebody else that has high military and high happiness. High happiness. That's relatively decent. So we're going to bring him into our miners, and that's going to increase our production on our mines as well. It should increase production on our mines, but it doesn't seem to have done that. Metal ore, 0.1 per day. So maybe we can take him out of there because it doesn't make any difference. That'll add 0.1. Didn't really add anything, did it? But it'll keep everybody happy. What have you got there? So we do need to throw the heads of our family into these areas to try and... Okay, hover over the icon to continue. Yep, no worries. Good diplomatic relations, we'll sort that out in a minute. Good diplomatic relations are important. Send an official to visit our overlord's fiefdom. So we can click on there, click on diplomacy, we can click on an official visit. And what we want to do is we want to find somebody who has really good diplomacy. At the moment, we can only put Aina in there, so we'll throw her in there. She's ambitious, which gives us +1 diplomacy. We get -1 diplomacy there, and then we get, so we're kind of neutral on our diplomacy anyway. And our diplomacy here is 10, so it's often helpful. So we choose our delegation target, so obviously it wants us to choose there, but we can, when we get into the bulk of the game, choose who we're going to go and visit and stuff. So they indicate personal relationships, indicates house relations. So that's our house relations. Choose people who like each other. So we need to check, we need to check people who like each other. So there's attitude towards cautious to calm, eloquent to skeptic, and eloquent to calm. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but we'll work it out as we go. Send an official visit delegation to another. Yes, let's send it. So what will happen now is we have time controls over here, and as things move through, we move through with time, and you'll see her travel over to where she needs to go, which is over to here. But for now, I want to go into here, and I want to continue working with these. I need to up our food production. Our food production is plus 2.2, which is really good. Our materials are plus 1.6, so I still need to get these. These miners aren't really doing much, are they? I'm going to throw him onto the smiths and see what happens. It doesn't really give us too much more bonus. At the moment, we're going 1.1 anyway, so these guys will keep our workers happy and stuff. So it's well worth making sure that we have appropriate people in there. Throw him into the masons there. That gives us -1 growth per worker, so that's no good. That'll give us growth. Oh, here we go. Come on, hover over that icon. That gives us basically nothing at the moment, but we'll leave that at that. Let's close. Construct a building. The other thing that we need to do is we need to construct a building in here as well. So we have upgrades and stuff. Profession upgrades, we can do that as well. Upgrades affect, they increase the city size, the worker slots. They unlock new military units and all that type of stuff. Okay, cool. No worries. So, what have we got here? At the moment, we can't really do any upgrades. Work time, can't build, requirements not met. We've already done that, I think, or it unlocks city guard, which would actually be really, really good. Okay, lovely. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so you'll see she comes over here for this diplomatic mission. We're gathering resources as time goes on. We're still only doing plus 0.1 on metal ore, so we need to increase that at some point in time. She'll travel over to where she's going, and we'll have sort of a dialogue option and stuff. So pillars of history. Most interactions between other families are presented with events. The events happen to the person on the left. Yep. Skills of the characters have often greatest impact on the possible outcomes. 10 to 12 is average, 18 plus is superb. Which, yep, we can do that, no worries. She passes by some old ruins which remind her of old stories about the ancients and their culture. Light shines between the huge pillars, creating patterns that look like dancing flames. She ponders how the ancients could have built these structures. Suddenly, she snaps out of these thoughts, feeling that someone or something was running between the ruins. So what we can do is we can have a look at what we've got. Affecting the outcome, nothing, and nothing affects the outcome. Let's investigate the ruins. Why not? So that'll be scholar tradition points. That will be generic tradition points. It'll count towards the tradition you've selected in the which is peaceful. So I think we might. Let's investigate the ruins and have a look anyway. She sends some of the servants to look for any signs of life in the ruins. It's hours before one of them returns, saying the ruins are empty and eerie. A while later, a few more come back saying the same thing and looking spooked. As night falls and the starry sky creates pale lights, the last servants return running. They give her a small pouch with shaking hands, saying that there was a small campfire outside of the ruins. Whoever camped there would have had a perfect view of the road where the caravans were travelling. Although the fire was still going, there was no one in sight. She opens the pouch and finds a token of Ainam inside. She gained zealous. Okay, so she gained a trait. Lovely, lovely. All right, let's just pause and have a squiz at what we've got back in our house. Growth reduction is -1 at the moment, so we do need to throw somebody in there, and hopefully, no, that will go to -2. So we're going to have to leave that there. The keep, actually, we need somebody with a really high. So she's got 14 on that. She's got 6. He's got 10. And he's got 12. Technically, she really needs to go into the keep. And we might throw... Might throw her into there as well. Beautiful. Okay, lovely. 2 family members without a task. We know that. Salvia is... and there's an unmarried. There's unmarried. So you need to marry and stuff like that. So Savine and Kame are unmarried. Rito, I didn't see you there. She's a young'un. She's age 12. Who is the other? You're unmarried, and you are unmarried. We could send her on a diplomatic. Yeah, we could. You know, I might send. I might send her on a diplomatic mission, I reckon. We could send a courtship. So suggest that 2 unmarried members of the 2 houses entertain the idea of future marriage. So might be a good idea. And yeah, he's 31, she's 31. They're both the same age. They don't have a very good relationship together at the moment. Their house relations aren't too good, but let's send her off anyway, just to see what we can do and see what happens. So we'll continue on. She is almost where she is going. I think there might be another... I wonder what that is. Perhaps a gold mine or something like that. Perhaps. They tend to go in really, really bizarre paths and stuff to get where they're going. This one isn't too bad. We should get something happening here soon, and we should get something happening there. Bad omen. Personal relations and house relations can often hinder or help your cause. Yep. So personal relations are here. And house relations are shown with the shield. So we've got -5 and -5 between those. House relations from her is relatively high. Okay, cool. You may choose what your family members try to achieve, but their characteristics determine how well they succeed. Hover over and select a choice of our liking. So we've got schema tradition points. We've got scholar tradition points. And peacemaker traditions. Sure that the omen is not about us. Yes, let's do that. So that actually increased. That was good. So basically, he'd seen a bad omen of a dead crow or a dead bird on his thing when she arrived, and he's seen that as a bad omen for her arrival, and she's basically just. Using the peaceful and stuff like that, she's just convinced him that that the bad omen had nothing to do with her. So that's actually increased our standing there, which is really, really good. So you can check all of your current, past, and future objectives from this button. Feel free to browse. More game mechanics will be done. Who's who? At the moment, we're in initial growth, so we're doing that. Then we need to make a trade in diplomacy and send a court member after we've constructed a building. And we need to propose a marriage, court someone, which we've actually done. So obviously you can do these early, and it obviously has some sort of effect. So there we go. We have done it. Official visit is where we've come over to do some official visiting. We do have our house. They don't see these guys as very good, and they don't have a very good personal relationship with these people. So Anna Vegemito, has travelled to Verona and is greeted by Louisa Florel. She arranges a formal meeting and asks Anna to name a topic they'd be willing to discuss during the meeting. So we've got generic points, tradition points. We've got warrior tradition points, 8 points towards warrior traditions. Go to the lowest level warrior tradition that you've selected. And then we have schema. Well, we're not. She's actually pretty high on the schema and on intrigue and stuff. Collective economy and fate. Collective intrigue and fate. Let's do some court gossip and see how we go. Because she has a really high intrigue level. Beautiful. Perfect. Lovely. That was actually a really good choice there, because she has 23 in intrigue as well, which is pretty cool. So she's certainly into talking about social patterns and recent happenings. After a while, she realizes they're gossiping away and having a great time. So we get +8 for opinion of family relations, and they're now friends. And we get +5 from our recent visit. So that was a really good outcome as well. So they're all going to head back home now. And while they are heading back home, our resources are building up, which is really, really good. Our income is building up. Let's go back into here and see what we can do. At this point in time, I was thinking of actually upgrading the smiths. We can't really do anything at all with the miners or anything at the moment. This really just is actually a little bit annoying how this goes down the bottom there. We can actually do an upgrade to the smith, which is an amalgamation of machinery, which will reduce production consumption by 10%, which is really, really good considering we're doing really low metal ore. It'll allow for wage level 2. It's going to cost us 200 gold. It's going to cost us 50 steel, and it's going to cost us 100 materials. That's probably a good thing to do. Keep wise, there's really nothing that we can do in the keep. There's nothing that we can do in farming at the moment. There's nothing we can do in vineyards. So I think we might attack that as our first building thing. So it's going to be 100 days for that to build. Let's go build and confirm that. Lovely. Okay, so we've got some building happening there. We still have people who don't have tasks. What I don't want to do though, see, I think that's going to actually reduce. Has that given us an increase? It has indeed. Perfect. Okay, so he's the right person to put in there because it's given us an increase on metal ore, which is really good. Steel production halted by the smiths. That's halted because we're actually at the moment we're actually doing this upgrade that we were doing. So that will be halted for 100 days while the smith is upgraded. So there you go. All right, back in. So yeah, we're in the very, very, very early stages, very, very early stages at the moment of this. But you can see where the intrigue and the intrigue and the sort of manipulating all the houses and stuff go. Now it's a very intense game. I haven't had much time with it, which means that there is so much more that I actually haven't got into, interestingly enough. Let's have a look at view. Let's have a look at what's going in there. Yeah, which basically means that I sort of haven't got into it that much yet. So yeah, but this is Houses of Calderia. If you're into this type of thing, this feels really well structured to me. And despite that there's so much to learn, I think the first run through of this game would be a really good sort of test run to learn the game and learn the ins and outs and all of that type of stuff. And you would need to take a lot more time than 30 minutes that I've spent on it to actually properly sink into the game. So this has been Houses of Calderia. It is available. There's a link below, guys. If you enjoyed this, please hit like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely do that, guys. That would be fantastic. I will see you all next time. Bye.